Welcome to AI Crypto Pulse, your daily dose of crypto updates, AI-driven insights, and market trends. Stay ahead of the curve with the latest in crypto and blockchain technology. Today, we're diving deep into one of the biggest developments shaking up the crypto world right now, and it involves none other than Crypto.com. Over the past few months, this company has been making headlines left and right, but today's news takes things to an entirely new level. And this isn't just about one company. It's about some of the most influential names in the digital asset industry joining forces on a project that could completely reshape how global markets operate. And yes, Crypto.com is right at the center of it all. When we talk about crypto, there are certain names that always come up: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance. But recently, Crypto.com has been steadily building its reputation as one of the key players in the space. It hasn't always been smooth sailing for them, but one thing you can't deny is their ambition. From acquiring naming rights to a massive sports arena, to building their Kronos blockchain, and now positioning themselves in groundbreaking regulatory conversations, Crypto.com is pushing hard to secure a future as one of the dominant platforms in this industry. So let's start with the latest story. The Commodity Futures Trading Commission, better known as the CFTC, has announced the launch of a major new initiative. They're rolling out a program that focuses on tokenized collateral and stablecoins, two areas that are absolutely crucial for the future of finance. This isn't a small pilot program. This is a major step forward in modernizing markets, reducing costs, and opening the door for blockchain technology to be more deeply integrated into the traditional financial system. And here's where it gets really interesting. The CFTC isn't going at it alone. They've brought in some of the biggest names in the crypto industry to help make this happen. Companies like Coinbase, Circle, Tether, Ripple, and of course, Crypto.com are all official partners in this effort. That's an elite list of names. If you're a company that gets invited to a table like this, it means regulators and institutions see you as a legitimate player, a company with enough credibility to shape the future of finance. For Crypto.com, this is an enormous stamp of approval. Now, why is this such a big deal? Well, think about what tokenized collateral really means. In traditional finance, collateral is what you put up to secure a loan or back up a trade. Usually this is something like cash, bonds, or real estate. But in a tokenized system, collateral could take the form of digital assets, tokens that are backed by real-world value but exist on a blockchain. This makes transactions faster, cheaper, and much more transparent. Pair that with stablecoins, digital currencies that are pegged to something stable like the US dollar, and suddenly you have a financial system that can move at the speed of the internet while still maintaining security and trust. For companies like Circle and Coinbase, this is obviously bullish news. Circle is the company behind USDC, one of the largest stablecoins in the world. Coinbase, meanwhile, has already positioned itself as one of the most regulatory compliant exchanges in existence. For Tether, which has long been the dominant stablecoin provider, the potential of an IPO is also on the horizon. And Ripple, which has been locked in legal battles for years, could use this kind of partnership to show regulators that it deserves a permanent place in the financial system. But let's focus back on Crypto.com and its CRO token. For them, this is another validation point. This is proof that they're not just a flashy exchange or a marketing-heavy company. They're becoming an integral part of the global financial conversation. Even though the CRO token recently pulled back in price, dropping from around 37 cents down to about 20 cents, this shouldn't come as a surprise. September has historically been a weak month for CRO, and once again, that pattern played out this year. But a dip in price doesn't erase the bigger picture. In fact, it often sets up the stage for the next rally. Why do I say that? Because when the broader crypto market wakes up again, when Bitcoin starts to surge and altcoins catch fire, it's projects like CRO that can see explosive moves. Right now, we're in a period of consolidation. The market has been chopping around, traders are cautious, and big investors are watching from the sidelines. But history shows that once momentum shifts, it can happen fast. And when it does, Tokens that have strong ecosystems, institutional backing, and real-world adoption can outperform in a big way. Speaking of ecosystems, let's talk about Kronos, the blockchain developed by Crypto.com. Recently, they announced a massive $100 million ecosystem fund. This isn't just a pile of money sitting in a vault. It's a carefully designed plan to support developers, institutions, and innovators who are building on top of Kronos. The fund is split across several programs that target different types of builders. There are incentives for institutions looking to adopt blockchain, support packages for developers launching new projects, and even mentorship programs to help native founders succeed. Why does this matter? Because every successful blockchain is built on usage. The more developers that build applications, the more users come in. The more users there are, the more demand exists for the native token of that blockchain. In the case of Kronos, that's the CRO token. It acts as the gas token that powers transactions across the entire network. So, when adoption increases, so does demand for CRO. Now, here's the big picture perspective. Right now, the CRO token has a market cap of roughly $7 billion. Compare that to Binance Coin, which sits at around $141 billion. That's a massive gap. Binance has certainly earned its spot at the top, but if you believe in the growth potential of Crypto.com and the Kronos ecosystem, then it's not crazy to think that CRO could one day climb closer to those levels. Even capturing a fraction of Binance's current valuation would represent tremendous upside. That's why so many people see CRO as undervalued. The fundamentals are there: a growing blockchain ecosystem, major partnerships with regulators and institutions, and an ambitious company pushing hard to expand its influence. Yes, the price action in the short term can be frustrating, but zoom out and the story becomes much clearer. Every new announcement, every new partnership, every new fund launched by Kronos, it all adds up to a company that's laying the foundation for long-term success. So where does that leave us? In my view, Crypto.com and the CRO token are positioned as one of the most promising projects in the industry right now. They have challenges, of course. Regulation is always a risk, competition from giants like Binance and Coinbase is fierce, and market cycles will continue to bring volatility. But the direction is clear. Crypto.com is evolving from just another exchange into a serious force in the global financial system. The CFTC partnership is proof of that. The $100 million Kronos ecosystem fund is proof of that. The continued development of new products, services, and blockchain innovations are proof of that. And while the market might not always reward these moves immediately, the groundwork is being laid for something much bigger in the years ahead. So, if you're following the story of Crypto.com, this is the time to pay attention. Because while the headlines today are about partnerships and initiatives, the real payoff could come when the next bull run kicks in. And when that happens, CRO could be one of the tokens that surprises a lot of people with just how far it can climb. This content is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions. If you enjoyed this update, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the latest crypto news and insights.